Hey traders, TG Watkins here. It is August 5th when I'm recording this. Hope you guys are doing well out there. And you might have noticed a big change in the market over the last, week or so. So today I'm going to have 7 reasons as to explain why the market suddenly turned around after going sideways for several weeks, actually a couple months at this point. But first, I do want to let you guys know that I am going to be going at the Money Show. I'm going to be presenting at the one in San Francisco, kind of up here at the end of August. So if you guys want to check it out, or you're going to be in town, come over. Great to see you guys. I am going to be doing one of the master classes, which is going to be a 2-hour class. Teach you guys a lot of the things that I use in order to make my trades and follow the trends. And this is going to be for the, premium tier of tickets or something. So you have to make sure you have the right tier. And remember, this is going to be coming up end of August, the 25th through the 28th. I believe I am teaching my class on the 26th. So yeah, go get your tickets. And if you guys are going to be in town, hit me up and come see me. All right, so let's dive into this. 7 reasons as to why the market suddenly came back alive and the SPX is making not only new all-time highs, but it is doing it in full force. All right, so one of the first things is that we got FOMC out of the way. That is always kind of a cloud that's hanging over the market because first of all, we have the new Fed chair, we have Warsh. The market's still trying to assess him, see what's going on. And it kind of tied into this with the FOMC was a little bit of the situational awareness, the Leopold fund that Citadel basically wanted to grab him at once he capitulated, because there was a bit of a rumor going around that Citadel was saying that they think that there was going to be a surprise rate hike. And so I think Leopold, from my understanding, took some positions to hedge against that, but then there wasn't one, and so he kind of blew up in multiple different ways. And that really was a wild day, because if you look here, I can even zoom in on this. This was the day. So FOMC day started off down, and then the FOMC minutes document came out, and they are not going to raise rates. So the market went up. And then as soon as Warsh was done with his Q&A session, the market just absolutely collapsed and made new lows on the day, ran through here. And there were some bigger forces happening out there behind the scenes than we're privy to until after the fact. And I think that was the final straw that broke the camel's back and allowed all the sharks swimming around, smelling blood in the water, to pick up his fund and his shares and short the market just into the final throes of that big move down. Now, the interesting thing is, the very next day, the market rebounded. I mean, look at that, perfect rebound. But that was also the very next day when the news started coming out about, let's see, where does that go? That was about him coming out and blowing up, basically. So Leopold fund blowing up, that pretty much marked the bottom. We could also see that that was where the SMH basically went way outside of its lower channel as far as the pullback goes, and then flipped back around. So really big things. We got the FOMC out of the way. We had the Leopold fund blowing up. We also had MAG's earnings. A lot more situation with that is that we don't know what's going to be happening. A lot of investors were worried about capex and how's the market going to respond to it. And initially we did see some down stuff. Like we had Google come down pretty hard based on its earnings, going to be spending more capex. But then I guess the market's like, oh, well, I guess we're okay with it, and ran it back up. And then you had things like Amazon absolutely nail it. But boy, you kind of had to be a little gutsy coming in here buying the dip, because they also dropped it. And I think that was in kind of sympathy of the Google move. And then you could see they shot up also. So the market's like, okay, we're cool with this. Amazingly, this did actually hold trend line. I've had this trend line here probably for months. And you can see this trend line right from the top here. And then look at that, nice double bottom off of that trend line. So yeah, interesting. The trend line held. So Amazon up, Microsoft up, Apple down. And I think Apple was actually a combination of things. I think one, Apple is the anti-AI trade. So this was kind of the flight to safety while the AI trade was being deleveraged and unwound. And part of why Leopold got in trouble with his fund is because he was super concentrated with leverage and in the AI ecosphere that was way too overbought. So yeah, Apple was the flight to safety, and earnings could have just been a buy the rumor, sell the news. So, they ran it up in earnings, got what they wanted, and then they just sell it there. So that's pretty typical kind of stuff. And yeah, so then we had Meta, which got dropped, but then that came back too. So you can see that a lot of the mag stocks are just coming back. There's still really not much to do with Meta. Really, this was mostly, it came down to the prior lows, big gap down, and then they just ran it back up. So again, not much to really work with as far as the trend. It was mostly just a dip buy. So yeah, now we have mags out of the way. Now we have another few months to where the market has a little bit more clarity. It has spoken, and now we have a little bit more clarity going forward. So we've got that out of the way. Then these are kind of back to back. As far as the Iran situation, we know back in April when the whole market was just really heavy and started to roll over, a lot of it was due to Iran and getting into that conflict. And then once Trump started to say, okay, we're not going to attack and we're negotiating, that's when the market really, really took off back in April. If you guys remember this last move right there. So end of March, beginning of April, I guess. That gap up was right there. We're not going to attack and we're negotiating. Well, lo and behold, look what happened again. We had, this is so amazing, just so much happened in such a short time. We had FOMC, we had earnings, we had Leopold blowing up, and then we also had Trump saying, okay, I'm not going to attack, and again, we are negotiating. So again, removing the issue of Iran for now, again, for now, because everything's a moving targets, but for now, they've removed that as an issue and the market screamed higher. And then after that, I think it was even just yesterday, Bessent came out and said Iran deal could be as soon as tomorrow. And that was another thing that helped raise the market again, even higher yesterday based on news like that. So it was just like a 1-2 punch on rapid succession about kind of good news. Plus we had Palantir come out that helped lift the market, and I don't know what else kind of supported the market. And even today, Elon said some good stuff about Nvidia, about how they're going to be using only Nvidia chips. So that kind of helps get the market up a little bit as well. And then we come over here. A couple days ago, basically the beginning of this week, JP Morgan says that the deleveraging is over. Okay, well, what deleveraging? We'll take a look at the SMH. This is the deleveraging. The SMH, from this historic rally, getting way, way too overbought, and the poster child for the over leverage and now deleverage is the Leopold fund with the situational awareness. And he was too levered up, way too unstable, and basically the market said, okay, well, we need to let some air out of the sails and we need to come back down. And that is basically what was happening here, is they were deleveraging right and through here, and then that right there, you see a little dip right there, that was the Leopold fund finally blowing up, capitulating, and then they ran it back up. So also you can see that from SMH, and then just another example, NBIS. You can see, talk about deleveraging. This is deleveraging right there. There's your deleverage. And now you can see we've started to turn back around. So JP Morgan even comes out and says, yep, deleveraging is mostly over. And then if we look at the VIX, if we come over here and look at the daily and hourly, you can see here, I have a line at 20. $20 is a big deal for the VIX. It's kind of like a make or break situation. If you get over 20, then you're going to have a bad day. And what we can see is during this whole deleveraging, now most of the weakness was concentrated in the tech, AI, semiconductors, that kind of space. But it did affect a little bit of the other markets. And you can see here that the VIX was moving up. But as soon as we got to 20, it couldn't go over, it broke lower, and that also helped show that basically fear, volatility, we're done, it's over, we're retreating, and that helped boost the market too, and it happened exactly at 20. So just a whole bunch of things that happened all within a few days of each other, completely flipped the script and the narrative of the market. Now the SPX is at all-time highs. There are still some things that need to be repaired. Of course, look at the AI complex. A lot of names did bounce back, but they are still having to kind of get their footing and kind of get a couple things figured out. I could even throw in this thing that maybe the TLT is starting to bottom. That was another thing that was putting pressure on the market. The TLT has been coming down pretty hard. Let's see if that starts to turn around. And then also oil, because we're backing away from the Iran conflict again. Oil, it has started to come back down, and that's another thing that is going to help boost the market. Even the dollar. That's like 10 things we could talk about for the reason that the market turned around. The dollar started coming down, and the dollar's coming down because right after the FOMC. So whatever the market and people who trade the dollar, figured out what Bessent or Warsh was saying, they decided to drop the dollar, and that's also better for the market. So yeah, we just had a huge number of things that all happened within about 5 or 6 days of each other. And that is the explanation as to why the market is going up. All right, guys. So I hope you got something from that. Remember, if you need a little bit of help guiding through the market, you like the way that I trade, the way that I look at the markets, come over to simplertrading.com/Moxie. You can get $7 trial for 30 days. Come in, say hi, see how I do. And if you want to stick around, that would be great. Other than that, I will see you guys for the weekend wrap up, and we'll catch you guys later. Thanks.